Hey there, Captain Mutant here. There's only so much you can do with greebling. Sometimes you need something finer, more precise, and that's where printed tiles come in. As many of you know, I'm no fan of stickers, even though they're way more varied, because they can be tricky to apply properly and often aren't. Prints remain perfect through their lifetime. I used a bunch of prints throughout my Outpost, and I've talked about some of them in previous episodes, but I thought it would be good to reveal them all to you now as the final secret of the Outpost. Let's start with the outside. I've used surprisingly few of them there, primarily on the 3 different vents on the roof. This vent I like very much, mostly because it's the only one in color. It's actually pretty rare, having only appeared in 3 sets between 1999 and 2001, the Star Wars and 2 Life on Mars sets. The second vent is almost as rare, appearing between 2001 and 2009 in 5 Star Wars sets. And the last one is the most common, and is still in production today. There are 2 different types of it, depending on the design of the 2x2 round tile. The old style had an X on its underside rather than the usual circle, and combined, they've appeared in a whopping 68 sets. Prints don't need to be rare to be fun to include. And finally, the last print for the outside of the base is actually the one that stands out the most, a printed 1x4 tile representing solar panels. It's a fun print that first appeared in 2017 and looks great. Inside the base, we have all the parts used in and around the corridor. These consist of this one, which I use for controlling the airlocks. It's far from rare, having appeared in 81 sets since 1999, and is not really the best looking print. However, LEGO have just updated it with a sleeker look on a medium stone grey tile, and you can bet I'll be upgrading my airlock control panels in due course. This one represents generic computer blinking lights of some kind, and is another pretty common one, appearing around the same time as the airlock piece and has been in 76 sets. It's actually my least favorite print of the lot, but it serves its purpose. This 1x4 tile print is a pretty popular one since its introduction in 2003, being present in just under 50 sets. I use it as the main control point for Breathe, the life support system located in the corridor. And I thought this one would be perfect under the internal airlock doors to denote potential danger to the unwary crew member or visitor. We wouldn't want to go outside without a spacesuit, now would we? The rooms are peppered with various prints, which I use to represent the multitudes of computer screens and control panels. Many come from bygone LEGO space themes, such as this one. You can only find it in 8 sets, from 1996 to 1999, most of which belongs to the Explorians line. I really like that one, there's something about it that speaks to me. Another cool pattern is this one. A little more common, 14 sets between 1993 and 2002, and mostly from the Ice Planet theme. It looks great as a small monitoring panel. Somehow, this next one always makes me think of Space 1999, with its very simple yet effective shapes. It's been pretty popular, appearing in 42 sets between 1990 and 2004. This one is one of my absolute favorites, and what's crazy is that it only appeared in a single set, the LEGO Batman Movie Story Pack for LEGO Dimensions in 2017. It looks great as a computer panel, and as it can be placed in any orientation, multiple ones look impressive side by side. In 1994, we were introduced to the Spirus theme, which is where this tile comes from. It made its way into other sets up to 1999 and has a very steampunk feel to it. This one is an odd-looking one. It first appeared in 1997 as part of the UFO theme. I used it sparingly, but I do like its wave pattern at the top. Here's another discontinued piece which looks very effective as a monitoring display. You might have seen it in a handful of Star Wars and Alpha Team sets. The most common printed tile of all is next, having appeared in 130 sets to this day, and it's of little surprise, since it's a representation of a keyboard. I'm sure that no matter how far into the future we'll be, we'll still need some kind of keyboard for precision input, and is therefore used in my Outpost. Then we have 2 printed slope tiles, this one with control buttons, and this one with a screen and a few knobs. They're both relatively recent additions to LEGO's inventory, having first appeared in 2016 and 2015 respectively, and they're both pretty popular. I've used specific prints for tools and other objects, like a communication and scanning device, represented by this 1x2 tile. It was in production between 1994 and 1999, and looks suitably technological for a futuristic handheld device. The next item is pretty special, a toolbox with a classic space logo printed on it. Amazingly, it only appeared with Benny as part of the LEGO Movie 2's minifigure collection, but you really can't have an interstellar outpost without at least one of those. Another piece I used was this one, which makes up Simeon's eyes and a large part of his personality. It came from LEGO's 2019 City Space range. Of course, printed pieces are people too, and by that I mean they make up the faces of the crew. I used a generic smiling female face and a generic smiling male face, as the idea was to supply 20 different wigs with the set, so if someone got 5 of them to build all 5 different modules, they'd have a unique crew of 20 without any duplication. And finally, the last printed piece is an alternative face for those inflicted by the mysterious contagion. But when I say last printed piece, I of course mean the last official one. Some pieces don't exist as part of LEGO's inventory, and I had to have them custom made. These include 2 1x2 bricks with the Classic Space logo printed on both sides. I used them for the sliding doors. There's also a 2x2 curved slope piece with that same logo on it. This one is for the buggy's hood. And of course, my iconic blue Classic Space mug. Last but certainly not least, we have the crew's uniforms. Inspired by a LEGO City jacket, this unique design with a patch on a shoulder and a stripe down one of the legs comes in multiple colors. It was a controversial choice to go with these rather than the usual space costumes with a giant logo on the chest, but I felt a more up-to-date and more detailed suit would work better in a modernized space setting. All in all, these are the 36 distinct printed pieces used throughout my proposal, bringing my Outpost to life with an immense level of detail, harking back to long discontinued themes, blending them with more modern elements, with a sprinkle of unique ones to boot. That's all I have for today. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to add your support to my LEGO Ideas proposal, the link's in the description, and I'll speak to you next time.